Prince Harry has told ITV that he wants his father and brother back, saying he wants to be part of a family, not an institution.
This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's. So it did seem a little bit strange that somehow the rules were being changed or that I was being guided on a very different path.
When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped down as senior working royals, they believed they could still negotiate terms with the British Crown. Now, that illusion has officially been crushed. Sources close to the palace reveal that Harry's final, desperate ultimatum regarding his children's official royal status and protection has been completely rejected by King Charles. It is a devastating blow that leaves the Sussexes utterly isolated from the institution they left behind. So what exactly did Prince Harry demand for Archie and Lilibet that forced King Charles to choose the crown over his own grandchildren? Join us as we get into all the details. The King's rejection. Why Charles won't bend the rules. It has been 6 years since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle walked away from their royal duties, kickstarting a massive family divide that has only grown wider with time. While it initially seemed like the couple had their new life completely figured out, things have changed now that they have to think about their children's upbringing and future. This family pressure is exactly what drove Prince Harry to deliver a tense new ultimatum to his father. However, palace insiders reveal that King Charles is flatly rejecting the demand, proving he is willing to choose the rules of the crown over his own grandchildren. So what exactly is going on behind closed doors, and why is King Charles saying no without so much as a second thought? Keep watching to find out. The answers to those questions trace back to a recent private meeting when Harry visited the UK and sat down with King Charles for tea. That brief encounter instantly fueled rumors that Harry was looking for a way to bring Meghan, 6-year-old Archie, and 4-year-old Lilibet back into the royal fold by taking on a smaller, alternative role. But royal sources have completely dashed those hopes. Insiders revealed that the king is strictly upholding a golden rule created by the late Queen Elizabeth, which states that no royal can perform official duties if they are making money from private commercial deals on the side. This means a return to Britain would require Harry and Meghan to completely walk away from their massive Hollywood contracts, including their $100 million Netflix deal and their $20 million Spotify partnership. King Charles is making it crystal clear that there is absolutely no room for a half-in, half-out public role. To make matters even more tense, sources claim this one-hour meeting was actually a calculated test by the king to see if Harry would leak any private details to the press. Even though Harry's team insists his only focus is his father's health, Harry publicly defended his memoir, Spare, stating his conscience is clear and he just wanted to correct the false narratives. With the king refusing to bend the rules and Harry standing his ground, the bridge to a family reconciliation seems officially burnt down. This whole situation shows just how much things have changed for the family. But the real truth behind this dramatic exit is way more complicated than anyone realized. It turns out that Harry never actually wanted to cut ties with his family in the first place. 6 years ago, he had every hope of remaining an active part of royal life, but a massive make-or-break negotiation ended up forcing him out instead. The heavy tension inside the palace walls had been building up for months before the big split, especially after Harry and Meghan took an official trip to Africa. That was the exact same emotional journey where Meghan opened up to a journalist and admitted that she was absolutely not okay, confessing that she was deeply struggling as a new mother within the royal circle while living under an intense spotlight. When they got back to the UK, Harry knew they could not keep living this way, so he headed straight to the Sandringham estate for a major meeting to discuss their options, incredibly keen to find a peaceful way forward with his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. Harry's big plan back then was to secure a half-in and half-out arrangement where he and Meghan could be entirely self-financing through private projects, but they would still show up to support the crown and undertake official duties for the royal family whenever needed. It sounded like a modern compromise, but the palace establishment was not having it. The 3 top private secretaries on the estate immediately went into summit mode and drafted their own tough proposal. Instead of offering a helping hand, they gave Harry a blunt choice and told him that he had to be either all in or all out. This cold refusal to compromise was a bitter pill to swallow, and it is the exact reason why the Sussexes chose to spend Christmas overseas that year instead of joining the family holiday. Harry went back to Canada feeling completely forced out against his will, knowing his dream of a modern royal role was dead. By June 2020, the couple officially packed up their lives and moved to California to start completely fresh with young Prince Archie, and a year later, their daughter, Princess Lilibet, was born in America. In their initial departure statement, Harry and Meghan shared that this choice came after many months of internal discussion, and Queen Elizabeth publicly responded with a very sweet and gentle statement, saying they would always be valued family members. But despite those kind words, the real consequences of their exit became obvious very quickly as the palace took swift action to erase their footprint. After Harry published Spare, the couple was requested to completely pack up and vacate their UK home at Frogmore Cottage, leaving them without a permanent base in Britain. Since stepping down, Harry has only returned to his native country a handful of times, and the children have only visited his homeland one single time. What started as a desperate search for safety and a fair middle ground years ago has created a permanent, heartbreaking divide today, with King Charles making his final choice to keep the kids growing up far away from the palace. But that long separation may finally be coming to an end. After years of staying away from British soil, the family is getting ready to cross the ocean for a reunion that has the entire world watching. Stick around to find out how an upcoming celebration of Princess Diana's legacy is paving the way for Harry and Meghan's highly anticipated return to the United Kingdom. The family return. Harry and Meghan's highly anticipated UK trip. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are officially preparing to bring their family back to the United Kingdom for the very first time in 4 years, and some fascinating new details are dropping major clues about exactly where they might spend their stay. 7-year-old Prince Archie and 5-year-old Princess Lilibet are fully expected to join their parents on this high-profile journey next month in July. This highly anticipated trip has actually been in the works for a very long time because Prince Harry is scheduled to attend official events marking the crucial 1-year countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games, which will be hosted in Birmingham from July 10th to July 17th in 2027. The interesting timing of this family vacation has drawn a massive amount of attention to Althorp House, which is the historic ancestral estate of Princess Diana, located in West Northamptonshire. The sprawling estate sits just about an hour away from Birmingham, making it a perfectly logical base for the family during their visit. What has really sent the rumor mill into overdrive is a brand new notice on the estate's official website, which states that the property will be completely closed to public visitors next month on July 10th and July 11th. This sudden closure has sparked widespread speculation that Harry and his family could be planning a private visit or even a full stay at the Spencer family home during their time in the country. Althorp House is also the sacred place where Princess Diana was laid to rest, and since the family's trip happens to fall shortly after the late Princess of Wales's July 1st birthday, it would be an incredibly meaningful moment for Harry, Meghan, and their young children. Little Lilibet even carries her grandmother's legacy with her everywhere she goes, as her official middle name was chosen in honor of Diana. Harry has a very close relationship with his uncle, Charles Spencer, the 9th Earl Spencer, and he has safely stayed at Althorp House during previous trips to the United Kingdom, including a quiet stay in August 2024, when he returned to attend the funeral of Lord Robert Fellows. While Althorp House looks like a very strong possibility, it is not the only option on the table for the couple. King Charles has actually stepped forward and offered his younger son and the family accommodation on a royal estate for the duration of their potential British visit. However, palace insiders reveal that absolutely no response has been received to the king's offer so far. The monarch has made similar gestures of hospitality in the past, including offering Harry a place to stay at Buckingham Palace during previous solo trips, which the Duke ultimately chose to decline. Even if Harry and Meghan do decide to accept the King's offer and stay on an official royal estate, there is a major catch because no additional security arrangements have been offered with the housing. The palace is quick to point out that decisions regarding protective security are handled strictly by the Home Office and a special committee, meaning the King does not have the personal power to grant police protection. Ever since the Duke and Duchess of Sussex made the choice to step back from their senior royal roles back in 2020, they lost their taxpayer-funded police protection. This is a tough decision that Harry has repeatedly challenged in the London courts, deeply worrying about the physical safety of his wife and kids whenever they are on British soil. As of right now, there are absolutely no confirmed plans for a formal reunion between Harry and his father during this upcoming July visit. Despite the lack of an official schedule, the father and son have managed to meet up during past trips. Most recently, they reunited at the King's London residence on September 10, 2025, while Harry was in town for the Well-Child Awards and other Invictus Games events. That private, emotional meeting lasted for about 55 minutes and marked their very first face-to-face conversation in 19 long months. It is incredibly rare for the entire family to travel across the together. Harry and Meghan have only returned to the United Kingdom with their children one single time since their move, which was back in June 2022 for the late Queen Elizabeth's historic Platinum Jubilee festivities. Even during that famous trip, young Archie and Lilibet were kept entirely out of the spotlight and did not participate in any public events. The Duke and Duchess were also visiting England for a quick series of charity events when Queen Elizabeth passed away in September 2022, prompting them to extend their stay to attend her state funeral and the surrounding memorial services. The battle over security remains the single biggest hurdle to true family healing, and Harry has been very vocal about his fears. In an emotional statement delivered to the High Court in London during a December 2023 hearing, Prince Harry explained that he desperately needs top-tier security for his two children to truly feel at home in his native land. He stated that the United Kingdom is his home and remains central to the heritage of his children, and he wants them to feel just as comfortable there as they do in their current home in the United States. He explicitly told the court that a real homecoming simply cannot happen if there is no possibility to keep his family safe on British soil, adding that his past life experiences make him highly reluctant to unnecessarily put himself or his wife in harm's way. Thankfully, the icy tensions between the two sides have seemed to thaw just a little bit in recent months following their brief autumn meeting. Prince Harry previously opened up to the BBC about his true feelings, confessing that he would absolutely love a total reconciliation with his family. He explained that there is simply no point in continuing to fight anymore because life is precious, softly referencing his father's cancer diagnosis that was shared with the world in 2024. Harry noted that while the King has struggled to speak with him due to the ongoing legal battle over security, it would be wonderful to finally reconcile. A peaceful stay at Althorpe House might be exactly what the couple needs to find comfort, as the estate holds beautiful personal memories for them. In his best-selling memoir, Spare, Harry wrote movingly about rowing Meghan out to visit his mother's gravesite for the very first time back in 2022 to mark the 25th anniversary of her passing. The late princess is buried on a beautiful quiet island at the center of an ornamental lake within the gardens, keeping the site completely private. Harry recalled feeling a wave of emotion as he placed flowers on the grave and asked his mother for guidance and clarity before leaving Meghan alone to have her own quiet moment. When he walked back, he found Meghan kneeling with her eyes shut and her palms pressed flat against the stone, praying for that exact same clarity and guidance to navigate their complicated path forward. But finding that clarity inside the royal circle proved impossible, especially when it came to building bridges with the women already established within the palace walls. While the world desperately hoped that Meghan and her new sister-in-law would form an unbreakable bond, the reality behind closed doors was a completely different story. The unfulfilled promise. Why Meghan and Kate never became allies. The complicated rift between Prince Harry and his family has been one of the most heavily discussed topics over the last few years. But there is one specific dynamic that has captured just as much attention from the public. That is the tense, unraveling relationship between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. On paper, it really seemed like they should have been the ultimate allies. They were the exact same age, and they were both brought into the intense spotlight of the royal family from relatively normal middle-class backgrounds. Yet, despite being in nearly identical positions as royal newcomers, the two women never seemed to strike up a genuine friendship. Instead, a deeply frustrating narrative of a massive feud quickly became the main focus of global tabloids, especially after a shocking news report broke that the two had gotten into an emotional fight right before Meghan's wedding over Princess Charlotte's flower girl dress. The endless rumors finally came to a massive head during Meghan and Harry's explosive television interview with Oprah Winfrey. During that broadcast, Meghan directly accused the Princess of Wales of making her cry during the stressful wedding preparations, despite the fact that months of media headlines had reported the exact opposite story. In that same interview, Meghan attempted to smooth things over by revealing that Kate had later owned up to the mistake, apologized, and even sent flowers to remedy the issue. However, well-known royal reporter Omid Scobie claims that the underlying tensions actually went far deeper than a simple disagreement about a dress. In his detailed book Endgame, Scobie writes that the two women simply had very little in common from the very beginning. Even though they worked closely together on official duties, they never quite took a liking to each other. For Meghan, who found much of her early time as a working royal to be a deeply lonely and isolating experience, there was an initial hope that Kate would be someone she could lean on. She hoped for an encouraging word or a bit of sisterly support during her lowest points. After all, they were once both outsiders who had been brought into the ancient House of Windsor to live unimaginably different lives. But according to Scobie, Kate was completely uninterested in forming that kind of close bond with Meghan. He claims that sources close to the family described Kate as someone who can be incredibly cold if she does not like a person, adding that she simply wasn't a fan of Meghan from day one and spent far more time talking about Meghan than actually talking to her face. While this unbridgeable gap grew between the two women, it also completely destroyed the affectionate bond that Harry and Kate once shared. Long before Meghan entered the picture, Kate was incredibly close to Harry. He used to fondly describe her as the sister he never had and always wanted, and in his memoir, Spare, he wrote about how much he loved making Kate laugh. He looked forward to the day he would find a serious girlfriend so that the four of them could all hang out and laugh together. Sadly, those warm days are entirely gone. Sources say that while Kate will always look back fondly on those sweet past moments and the great relationship Harry had with her children, she feels there is absolutely no way she could ever trust him or Meghan again after all of their tell-all television interviews. The choice Harry and Meghan made to step back from working royal life and pack up for California in 2020 only made the tension worse. Their sudden departure left a massive working void behind, putting a huge amount of extra pressure on Prince William and Kate to pick up the slack and cover more official duties, which understandably fueled the resentment. In their Netflix documentary series, Meghan spoke very candidly about how she was totally unprepared for the rigid realities of royal life. She recalled the very first time William and Kate came over to their home for dinner, remembering that she was wearing ripped jeans and was completely barefoot. She explained that she has always been a big hugger, but she did not realize at the time that such casual physical warmth is actually very jarring for many British people. From that moment on, Meghan explained that she started to understand very quickly that the strict formality on the outside of the royal family carried all the way through to the inside. She initially believed that the intense etiquette rules were just for the public, a forward-facing way of being that they could turn off the second they closed the doors to relax. But she was incredibly surprised to find out that the formality never stops, even behind closed doors. According to royal editor Russell Myers in his book, William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales was set on an entirely different course from the Sussexes due to one particular deal-breaker that she found impossible to look past. Initially, Kate believed that the arguments between William and Harry were just rooted in typical immaturity, stubbornness, and the natural tensions of the heir and spare dynamic. She figured it was inevitable that Harry would eventually want more from his role than just being a minor player. However, the real turning point that set the couples on an entirely different path was Harry and Meghan's alleged attitude towards the palace staff. William and Kate cared deeply about their staff, so when bullying accusations were made against Meghan during her time as a senior royal, it created an unforgivable rift. Buckingham Palace even launched a formal investigation into the claims in 2021. While Meghan's lawyers firmly denied the accusations, calling them a calculated smear campaign based on harmful misinformation, the findings of the review were never made public. Since leaving that chaotic royal life behind, the Sussexes have shifted their focus to their Archewell Foundation and various media projects. But the damage to the family is completely done. The so-called Fab Four were last seen together at Queen Elizabeth's funeral in 2022, and today, they live thousands of miles apart, completely out of touch, with Kate having had very little interest in ever persuading Harry to stay. But while the rift between the sisters-in-law appears completely permanent, an even greater storm is brewing between the brothers as a massive summer showdown looms on the horizon. Keep watching to see why Prince William is completely refusing to see his brother during his upcoming visit. The Big July Showdown. Will Harry and William finally meet? The royal family is bracing for a massive storm next month, and the latest updates reveal a huge divide between the brothers that might never be fixed. While Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are getting ready to bring their family back to the United Kingdom, Prince William has made it completely clear that he will not be seeing his brother at all. In fact, relations between the two brothers have hit an all-time low, creating a very tense situation behind palace doors. King Charles is reportedly clearing his busy schedule so he can finally see his grandchildren, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, whom he has not seen in 4 long years. The king is so eager for this family reunion that he has reportedly offered to give the Sussexes royal housing and even fund the family's security arrangements out of his own pocket while they are in the UK. But while the king is trying to make peace, his generous gestures are causing some serious friction with his eldest son. Sources close to Prince William say that he is deeply irritated by the fact that the king is bending over backwards just to make Harry's trip to the UK happen. Even though palace aides are trying to deny any official fallout between Charles and William, everyone knows that William has made his strict feelings about a reconciliation very clear to his father. People who know the family well explain that William is known to hold a grudge. And more than that, he simply cannot forgive his brother for the immense pain Harry has put the family through over the last few years. William firmly believes that Harry crossed a major line when he spoke out in his 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey and when he released his tell-all book, Spare. In that autobiography, Harry shared very intimate, private details about his and Meghan's rocky relationship with Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. For William, protecting his wife and family comes first, and those public attacks are something he is just not ready to look past. Even though Harry's main reason for visiting the UK is to promote the upcoming Invictus Games, which are set to take place in Birmingham in July 2027, the real story here is the family reunion. Sources close to the Sussexes have confirmed that Meghan, 7-year-old Archie, and 5-year-old Lilibet will definitely be traveling alongside him. Harry is using this big summer trip as a special opportunity to introduce his children to both sides of his family. He does not just want them to see the Windsors, but he also wants them to spend quality time with the Spencers, who are Princess Diana's side of the family. This trip has actually been planned for quite some time. While next year during the actual games would have been the most obvious time to visit, Harry is determined to make it happen this summer instead. Insiders say that Harry has been incredibly keen to have his kids come over to the UK for a long time, and there has been a deep feeling of sadness around him because he has not been able to bring them over sooner. He has even told his close friends that he cannot wait to touch down in his homeland with his family. But despite Harry's excitement and his repeated attempts to make contact, there will be absolutely no olive branch meeting with William and Kate. William will not be taking his calls, and sources suspect that the Prince of Wales will actually make sure he is miles away when Harry visits, just to completely avoid any awkward encounters. William is simply not in the mood for a reconciliation right now, and his father's constant efforts to welcome Harry back into the fold are only making him more upset. This entire situation really shows how differently the king and the future king look at this ongoing family drama. A close family friend explained that William is known to hold a strong grudge, whereas King Charles just wants to have peace in his life. The two men are coming to this painful Harry situation from two completely different perspectives. Charles believes that life is short and that a father must forgive his children and move on, especially with his ongoing health battles. William, however, refuses to do that. He feels his father is making a massive mistake by welcoming Harry back so easily after everything that happened. He is standing his ground firmly, and it looks like he might never change his mind, leaving the two royal brothers completely divided as the family arrival date creeps closer. Do you think there will ever be any reconciliation between the brothers? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.